Hi, I'm Matthew Gatland, this is Caves, and things are looking a lot better than in my last video when everything was broken and kind of amazing, but kind of broken. So that frame rate issue I was working on last week has taken far longer than I ever imagined. There are still probably a few bugs around the place that I haven't found yet, but everything that I've noticed is now fixed. I wanted to talk a bit about these speech bubbles. So this was actually in last week's video, but I didn't have time to talk about it. Now when characters talk, or not every character like Beacon, but most characters, their speech comes out of a speech bubble. So you can see Carol's speech bubble here and Alex's one here. And I decided to put this feature in after playing Night in the Woods, which is a really beautiful narrative game. And it uses speech bubbles, and I played it and I was like, that's just so good, I need that in my game as well, so I kind of copied them. Night in the Woods being a sort of handmade narrative game, it's a bit easier for them to use speech bubbles than it is for me. I've got a lot of unique problems, like, what if the speech bubble is covering up something you want to look at? That was, I guess, the advantage of doing it the way I used to, where text always appeared here at the bottom of the screen. So there's a lot of issues, there's things I need to fix, and I'm not 100% committed to the idea yet, but it does solve a big problem I had, which is that if something interesting was going on in another part of the screen, players often didn't even notice that some text had appeared at the bottom of the screen. So I think it is better, but it's going to depend on me being able to handle all of the problems that arise. So placement is the biggest issue. My game's dynamic, you never know where things are going to be. Right now you can see that the speech bubble moves around to try and not block the player or the person who's talking. I have let it block other things. I've also told it not to block some particularly dangerous enemies, so if there's a really powerful enemy coming after you, your speech bubble will kind of dance around to not cover it. At the moment, I don't let it cover the mouse either, so you can kind of push them around with your mouse pointer if they're in the way. I don't know if I like that or not. Previously you could just hold your mouse over them and click on them to advance the conversation. But it is kind of nice being able to push them out of the way. Like if I want to look at this building, speech bubble gets out of the way of my cursor, kind of. So yeah, it isn't perfect yet. It's definitely a bit glitchy. They pop around a lot. It doesn't look nearly as smooth as the old system where text appeared down here at the bottom of the screen. But I'm definitely going to keep playing with it and see how it goes. And I think it might turn out to be really good. But yeah, hard to say, and maybe there is a sort of compromise. The text down here isn't quite noticeable enough. The text here is really in the way of what you're doing. Maybe there's some other way to present the text that's not in your face, but is still super noticeable. I just see now, here's another timing bug from the frame rate issues I was having last time. This little prompts from Carol's meant to come like maybe every minute, but now it's coming repeatedly, almost immediately. So that's an example of the many bugs that came out of that frame rate change. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll have more to talk about next week.